welcome back to watching the game. We just recorded our NBA Finals recap, but now we are recording our NFL slash college football Week 5 recap, I guess. So, obviously, we already talked about the Thursday night game where the Bears beat the Buccaneers on 20-19. Someone in here actually thought they wouldn't win. It's really weird, but I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine
I don't
being
know.
that guy.
I can imagine picking the Buccaneers over the Bears.
Imagine.
Terry Bradshaw chose the Bears. Come on.
Wonder who that idiot was.
I know, right? It's almost like he just spoke right now.
Almost. Not quite, though.
Oh, yeah. Let's go through each of these games. Alex Smith made his triumphant return as Washington got pounded by the Rams 30-10. The Rams are now the NFC East champions because they've swept the NFC East already.
Yes, I agree with you, but that game was just an intro. Well, welcome back to Alex Smith. Washington football team wasn't the actual person that got pounded. It was actually Alex Smith. His return, he got sacked.
Did you guys? Did you guys see the meme? Right, it was the Travis Scott McDonald's commercial, and it was when Travis Scott's like waving around the fry. It's like the mini action figure, and he's waving around the fry, and it said Aaron Donald with Alex Smith's leg. Did you see that one or no?
Oh God, scary.
And the Rams defense showed up that time with 8 sacks.
Also, Washington's O-line is.
Rams defense is good, bro.
Yeah.
Rams defense has like star power, but they don't they have Donald and Ramsey, but then they don't have a lot around them.
Then Leonard Floyd's just that wash defensive end that
Actually, let's see. How is my boy Leonard Floyd doing?
Yeah, let's look up his stats.
2 sacks.
Being a bomb.
Okay, about as expected, I guess. Wait, did he not play yesterday?
Yesterday, you mean 2 days ago?
I mean, he's not on here. Yeah, he has no stats.
Yeah, he has no stats for Sunday's game.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, back to the topic on hand. So, yeah, Rams already NFC East champions. They play Sunday night at San Francisco next week. Or not. Is it at San Francisco? They play the 49ers.
It's at San Francisco. I think they should flex the Green Bay Tampa game to Sunday night.
In terms of flexing, they're not going to do that. I'll tell you, I was looking through this yesterday, actually. I think the only game in the next few weeks they flex, like in the next 3 weeks, I hope they flex the Cowboys-Eagles game out of Sunday night. God.
Yeah.
Fox is going to protect the
Buccaneers. Please.
Fox is going to
especially now even...
Heck is gone, so
Fox is gonna
we don't want to see Andy Dalton versus Carson
Wentz game. Because the networks, they can protect games, so that's what Fox is going to do with the Buccaneers-Packers. Let's see. Washington, well, I guess they're still in contention for the NFC East. Even though they're 1-4, somehow.
Who? My grandma could go win the NFC East if she really wanted to.
We could win the NFC East. Alright, then we got...
Let's talk about the key noon game that everyone was talking about. The Raiders-Chiefs. Las Vegas pulls an upset in Arrowhead. What do you guys think about that?
With Derek Carr on my bench. Because why wouldn't he be?
I don't know, man. Raiders?
People were saying... Dude, the Raiders confuse me. Like, look, if you look at who they've beaten already, they've already beaten the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions, and they've already beaten the Saints, who people think are going to be really good and in contention for a Super Bowl. So, but then you look who they lost to. Who do they lose to? I know they lost to the Patriots, and they lost to the Bills, and they looked really bad in both of those games.
They also beat Carolina,
who's looking decent now.
Tell me, bro. So, they look like, in terms of the AFC right now, I think in terms of a possible playoff team,
They're a wild card team, I think.
I
I think
believe
they're a
they'll
wild
go
card
at
team.
least
I would
9 and
say
7, maybe
I would say
10 and
right
6.
now, like they'd be fighting with the Titans and the Patriots for the last two spots.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They'll probably get the last wild card spot.
Something
Yeah.
like that. I feel like people are gonna try to act like the Chiefs are screwed now.
Which they aren't. I mean, it was a pretty good game overall. Mahomes had
And
his down.
people are saying that they figured the Chiefs out. They rushed four and had two high safeties, and they're saying that's how you beat Mahomes.
They still put up 32 points. I don't think that was really that big. Mahomes didn't have a good
Yeah, I don't
day.
think so either. And the thing is, the Raiders generated nearly no pressure. I mean, Mahomes was just running back and forth, taking a sweet time passing yet on Sunday.
It's kind of crazy to me that Derek Carr is the guy who outdueled Mahomes.
Yeah,
Weird.
nobody would expect that. And Kansas City was supposed to have a short week. They were supposed to play Buffalo this Thursday night. Then, since Tennessee got COVID, Buffalo and Kansas City's game got moved to
Kansas City is
Monday
going
midday.
to. Buffalo will win today, but then Kansas City is gonna bounce back strong against them. So
Yeah.
we'll see about that.
Interestingly, there's no Thursday night this week.
Well, we have Tuesday night, which is better. So Tuesday night.
So even
Let's see.
I even like Thursday night football, to be honest.
Also winning 30-10, the Cardinals over the Jets. The Jets are continuing their abhorrence for Lawrence. Tank for Trevor.
I see what you did there.
Tank for Trevor.
You know who sucks? You know who sucks more than the Jets? Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake.
He scored a
having an
touchdown, though.
underperforming season.
You said what?
He scored a touchdown, though.
Idris, I legitimately believe put me behind a top tier. I'm not saying the Cardinals have a top tier offensive line. Put me behind the top tier offensive line against the Jets from like the 5-yard line. I think I could score.
It's not good because
Scoring a touchdown against the Jets is not a good accomplishment. I'm talking
Edmonds
about
is like outplaying him. So
exactly that's what I'm saying. Fucking Kenyon Drake is the worst starting running back. Like, it's not even arguable at this point, in my
If you
opinion.
look at his stats last year, in the beginning of the season with Miami, he wasn't producing very much. Ever since he got traded to Arizona, he got the hang of things towards the end of the season. He started to show off. I mean, I don't know. It could be everyone's having high standards for him, but he's very underperforming this season.
Let's see. Next game, Steelers-Eagles. Steelers won 38-29. I want
Overall,
to say
that
something.
game,
I hate you, Zach Ertz. You have been absolutely terrible. Why have you been so bad? Please tell me. Why did I draft you? God, you suck. Anyway,
I mean, the
I think
thing
they're gonna
is
trade him. As soon as Dallas Goedert is back, I think they're gonna trade him.
I think Philadelphia has to understand that if they get things going on defense, their defense hasn't been producing much. I mean, if you look back at week 3 when they tied with Cincinnati, and then this week against Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh does have a very strong football team, both defensively and offensively. But, I mean, you can't put everything on the shoulders of Carson Wentz. That's not going to help you win.
Would you say Pittsburgh is a strong team or not a strong team?
Oh, Pittsburgh is a very strong team, defensively and offensively.
I thought you said they weren't a very strong team.
No, they are.
very
It turned out a better game than everyone
honest.
expected. I mean, I expected like sort of a blowout, but it was a pretty good game.
Yeah. It's unbelievable
In terms
how
of
good the Steelers are at getting receivers. It's bogusly unfair.
If only they can pass some of that talent to the Eagles. It still brings me joy
And
that
then
they took.
Travis Fulgham, bro. That guy is the new
Okay, but
Greg
he was on.
Ward.
Okay, but he was undrafted. You got They got JJ Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf, and then this year they took Jalen Rieger over Justin Jefferson.
Idiots. Idiots indeed.
And Jalen Rieger has only played 2 games and is on IR. Half of Philadelphia's starting receivers from the practice squad with very little experience. Greg Ward with the most experience, about 50 receptions in his
Yeah, he's a
career.
converted. He's a converted quarterback too. So the whole
Exactly.
the entirety of the Eagles are just a mess. And the crazy thing is, get 6 wins, you might win this god awful division.
This is the way.
I mean, hey, people might say that Philly's gonna win this division, but I think Dallas still might somehow end up winning. Andy Dalton.
That's the scary.
Andy Dalton's more than a capable quarterback. Not on the level of Dak, nowhere near that, but.
Then we got Texans win their first game 30-14 over the Jaguars. Good job. Get your win.
It was a good
Show
job,
that you
Romeo
hate Bill
Cornell.
O'Brien.
Romeo Cornell showed that he could lead this team for the end of the season. But again, surprisingly enough, Jacksonville has only won 1 game this year. It was against Indianapolis in Week 1.
Because it was a fluke. Kind of.
No, it's because I fully endorsed Minshew Mania, and the curse struck.
Good job.
I'm
Ravens
sorry,
Bengals.
Jaguar fans.
Ravens beat the Bengals 27-3.
Yeah, Joe Burrow was a little careless, threw an interception and had 2 fumbles. Again, the Ravens defense is pretty strong. Patrick Queen showed out. The win for Baltimore.
Man, I feel bad for Burrow.
Bro,
He needs more protection.
AJ Green, did you guys see him say, "Just trade me already"?
Yeah, that lip reading
Did you guys see?
thing.
Yeah.
I thought.
Honestly,
And he
Baltimore
looked
could
careless
use
in
him.
that game.
Baltimore could use him.
True, yeah, him and Marquise Brown could be a good pairing. How crazy would it be? What's it called? If he does go to the Patriots and Adam calls it.
Man,
I mean, AJ Green to New England would be a good pickup.
New England, Baltimore. I think that's honestly there's not a lot of other places.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to our next game. Carolina versus Atlanta. Panthers win it 23-16.
Yankwin fired. Thomas Dimitroff fired. The Falcons are gonna start kind of rebuilding next year. I think they'll trade Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
No,
Dan
they'll only
Quinn
trade
gone
Matt Ryan.
almost.
I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, the only way I see him the only way I see them keeping him is if they do like so like he can mentor their next QB. Cause he's already like 32-ish.
Yeah, they're either gonna draft a quarterback or sign a backup in free agency.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm thinking if they get the number 1 pick, then they'll pick Lawrence for sure. If they don't, I don't know if they'll actually move on from him.
I mean, hey, Atlanta has Todd Gurley. They have Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, a good wide receiving duo. Their defense needs an entire rebuild.
It makes no sense why this team is bad. Like on paper, especially the offense. You'd think with Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, you could at least string together some wins.
Yeah.
But the offense is always like battered and bruised.
Also, their defense has been getting flashed by other offenses' opponents.
It's just ugly. It's very, very ugly.
Yeah.
Then you got the late games. The Dolphins blew out the 49ers. You know, the 49ers' schedule after this week gets ridiculously hard. And they've only beaten the New York teams. And I know they have a bunch of injuries. But, it's pretty worrying.
Yeah, it is. And I believe San Francisco will end up the last team in the division. think Arizona will be number 3, and then the Rams will grab the
No,
second spot.
dude, brutal schedule and all these injuries. I think this is a down year for the
Let's take a look.
49ers.
So their next 7 games before things kind of ease up at the end.
I mean, just thinking about this game, your head coach had to bench Jimmy Garoppolo against the Miami Dolphins.
To be fair in that regard, the Dolphins finally got their stacked secondary back because Xavier Howard and Byron Jones finally played together.
Yeah.
And Garoppolo was clearly playing hurt. But someone was saying, oh, they knew this was a must-win. That's why they played Garoppolo. Because of their schedule, they're now 2-3. And then they play versus the Rams, at New England, at Seattle, versus Green Bay, at New Orleans, at the Rams, and versus the Bills. Then they play against Washington and Dallas, then at Arizona and against the Seahawks to end the year. It's not, it's bad. And
it's only going to go downhill for San Francisco.
And look at their injuries. Debo Samuel just came back. Tevin Coleman's still out. Garoppolo wasn't playing healthy. Kittle's fine now.
Bosa out for the year.
Trent Williams injured? I can't remember. I don't think Trent Williams was injured. Bosa out for the year. Solomon Thomas out for the year. D Ford is perpetually injured now. Sherman is also out right now. I don't know, man. They're just having a complete collapse during. It's not obviously bad because of their injuries, but obviously something is gonna be concerning because you're like, oh yeah, you were bad. You were 6-10, then you were like 5-11, then you were 4-12. Then you had that 1 year where you went 13-3, and then you're right back down to like 5-11, 6-10. So I don't know.
I mean, if you look at last year's stats, the offense, I wouldn't say fully carried, but the defense played most part of it. They had a very strong defense.
Of course, but the offense was still strong. The Shanahan running game could still be there.
Yeah, it could. Raheem Mostert, I feel like he has it in him. He could be the one carrying his team on his shoulders.
Imagine getting carried by a dude named Raheem. Dude, okay, but like in terms of the Dolphins, remember Idris? We called this we locked this in as the official podcast sleeper team. They're now 2-3. They move on. They play the Jets next week, which should be like the easiest one they've ever seen in their lives.
Win for Miami.
So they'll go into their bye 3-3, and then out of the bye, who do they play? What's the stupid schedule?
Look at the teams they played. They beat Jacksonville. They played a really close game against Seattle, and now they beat San Francisco. I'm not saying they could end up second seed in the AFC East, but
I don't know. We'll see.
They're getting it there, Patrick's era might be over in a couple of years.
They'll be the top seed in the AFC in a year or two.
When did they switch to Tua? I feel like Fitzpatrick is trolling him at this point by playing this well against the team.
No, it's smart by Miami to start Fitzpatrick. He's doing great this season.
Not until he has two bad games. Once that happens, then they'll do it. Okay, then you got Cowboys, Giants. The Cowboys won 37-34, but honestly felt like a loss because unfortunately Dak Prescott got injured and is out for the season. Pretty rough injury. Like the
really put a damper on a great game. It was a great game from both teams.
On a defense that doesn't exist game. Can we talk about how the Giants came into this game? They had literally scored, I think, 3 or 4 touchdowns in 3 touchdowns in 4 games. And they hung
Yeah,
34.
and they averaged like 11 points or 12 points a game.
And
They
hung
outscored that
34
at the
on
end of
the
the first quarter.
Cowboys.
I mean, what does this show you? How bad the Dallas defense is, or how bad the Dallas organization is?
Dallas defenses.
I mean, like
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
about
those.
forget about Dak getting injured. Like at least they had their offense. If they could put even a semi-competent defense out there, they would at least have a chance this year. But they straight up can't.
Mm-hmm.
And
If
I
their
know
defense isn't improved, I agree with you, Idris. They're not gonna have a chance.
it's. And then the Giants just continue the New York futility that is going on. 0-10 between the two teams right now, even though they technically both play in New Jersey.
Beast.
So it's
This is true.
both
The
of them
New
are
Jersey
tanking for
Giants.
Trevor Lawrence.
like,
Daniel
it
I
Jones
thought
was-
was
is
an interesting
terrible.
game was the final afternoon game, the Colts and Browns.
What a win for the Browns.
Yeah, good win. Indianapolis didn't have Darius Leonard, their key defensive linebacker. Indianapolis' defense is very good, as we saw against
It was good.
Bears in Week 4.
But I mean, there's an elephant in the room here, and his name is Phillip Rivers. I'm not saying that 5 games into the year he's done, but I'm also not saying it because he was bad. And honestly,
I kind of wish they spent that money elsewhere. Like they just
Yeah, I
stuck
agree
with
with
Jacoby.
you. I mean, Philip Rivers is a good pickup for veteran reasons, but
you know, Dan
production is
Orlovsky
not
was
that good.
saying they should trade for Matt Ryan. And honestly, if the Falcons get the first pick and they're trying to trade Matt Ryan, the Colts should definitely be the team that trades for him.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
But didn't they sign Philip Rivers like a 2-year deal?
1 year. And
Yeah.
even if he did get a 2-year deal, if he's playing like this, I don't know if he would get to that second year.
True.
Credit to the Browns because against against one of the better defenses in the league in Indianapolis, they put up 25 points besides the pick 6 that they got. And that's a pretty solid accomplishment. Some douchebag named Cody Parkey decided to doink in a field goal this time.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Saw
do
that.
that 2 years ago.
That angered me.
And one of the great plays of that game was Odell's catch. The spectacular catch, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, the one where he got like hit really hard.
Yeah,
I do
balance and
recall.
control. All right, the Sunday nighter, Minnesota goes and visits Russell and his hot Seattle Seahawks. But a very disappointing first half for Seattle. What do you guys think about that?
Who cares? Because they won. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the main discussion.
Listen.
The 4th and 1
Okay,
inside of
before
field goal range.
Before that, I want to just say, like, sure they had a bad first half, but the game of football is a 4-quarter game, so you have to judge overall. And sure, they didn't have a very good game, but they won, and that's what matters. Okay, in terms of the 4th and 1, listen. When it comes to coaching like that, you have 2 good decisions. You can kick a field goal, almost a guaranteed make from that short. It's 24 yards. You go up
Unless
8.
you're Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh is gone now, thank God. 24 yards. You go up 8. You can, at worst, you go to overtime. That's the thought process. The other way, if you go for it, you get it, the game's over right there. Now, think about this. Throughout the game, the Vikings, I know Cook was injured at this point, but the Vikings
And he's doubtful for the next game as well.
The Vikings were still gashing Seattle. And they probably could have easily gotten the first. And there was a hole on that play. You were gashing them all game. You could have ended it right there and prevent Russell Wilson from even getting the ball back. That's why I think that was a better choice. Because even if you kick the field goal, you're giving them 20 less yards because assuming you kick it out of the end zone, they start with the ball at the 25. So 20 less yards where they already don't have any timeouts. I mean, I was thinking, like, considering how bad the secondary decided to be at that moment, you had stopped them from for most of the game, too. Like, they only scored once when they didn't start with the ball inside your 30-yard line. You end it right there.
The only reason I'm saying...
You're not even tempting fate.
The only reason I'm
Russell Wilson in
saying...
overtime. Because
Okay, but like they should have kicked the field goal, because, dude, if that's Delvin Cook, if Delvin Cook's back there, okay, hand it off to him 100%. But Madison
Madison
can't trust
stepped
him
up
like
for
that.
him. He had about 93 rushing yards, which was pretty decent for a backup.
Okay,
but
then like when it mattered the most, he couldn't make the play because he didn't see the hole.
I think we need to stop like judging coaching. Like, I get part of it is coaching and all, but also you need to look at the execution. Like, there's no really wrong decision there. A lot of times when it comes to these, there's really no wrong decision. He's just because kicking the field goal is playing not to lose, which sure sounds like the right decision, but going for it, you're playing to win it right there. And I mean, I know Zimmer hasn't been very good this year, but also he didn't suddenly expect his corners would stop covering. Listen, we can argue about this all day.
Yeah, there's no really right or wrong answer. In the end, the Vikings lost. That's all that matters.
Like, coaching, in the end of it, coaching may matter, but, like, decisions might matter, but what really matters is the execution. Frankly, the Vikings
players
didn't
execute.
at the end. And now they're 1-4. And Seattle's
Final game of...
I just want to say one more thing in terms of Seattle. They need to. I know they don't. They already traded a bunch of picks for Jamal Adams, and he was out yesterday. But what they should do, they need to trade for a defensive end pretty badly. I saw on Twitter someone was saying they should trade a mid-round pick for Ryan Kerrigan, and I think that would be perfect because Washington spent their last 2 first-round picks on edge rushers, and they don't really have.
Yeah, that's great for both teams, actually.
Yeah. They signed Benson Mayo in the offseason, and they got rid of Ezekiel Ansah.
Who sucks.
Yeah, they need a new defensive end.
Yeah, they need another guy. All right. Last game of the NFL. Before obviously tonight, but Saints Chargers. The Chargers were up 20-3. Justin Herbert was going off, but the Saints ended up winning 30-27 in overtime. I know. Listen, just because Taysom Hill scored the game-tying touchdown doesn't mean anything. Someone tell Sean Payton to stop giving him the ball because he's really just a guy. He's not that good.
I hate him. I hate him. He takes Camaro's touches. Get out the game, you pest.
There are so many. Even if you want a read option QB from college to play that role, there are so many better options than Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill already cost you the Packers game with that fumble. And then yesterday he was so bad before that touchdown.
I mean, I'm on board with you. They use him too much. If they use him a couple times a game, I mean, I'm fine with that, but they use him too much. He fumbled the past 2 games before they played the Chargers last night. And yeah, I don't think he's worth it for New Orleans.
They overvalue him, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. So after this game, Justin Herbert moved up the Rookie of the Year stats, possibly to even the number 1. What do you guys think?
Probably.
At this point, if he stays playing like this, the only way I can see him not winning is because his team isn't winning.
I actually think
we really can't put that on him.
I'll make a bold prediction. I think the Chargers will actually end the season 9-7 in the playoffs.
Oh wow, you think they'll get a playoff spot
they
before
have
the Raiders?
A decently easier schedule coming up.
Look at that.
And I mean, at
Let
some
me look
point,
at their
some of these
schedule.
one possession games have to turn into wins. I feel. I know they're very
Right,
unlucky.
but that's always been their thing. It's just them losing close games. So they have the bye, and they come out play the Jaguars and Broncos. That should be two easy wins. Then you have the Raiders. If they can take care of the Raiders, then they should have another one against the Dolphins, another one against the Jets. They could easily go on a 5-game win streak here and go to 6-4.
They could, but they could also lose to Denver. Drew Lock is coming back, and since Miami's
So
good display in the past couple of weeks, be a close one there.
yeah, it's either be 5-0, a 5-0 stretch, or a 2-3 stretch.
No in between.
Really, yeah, no in between because you're definitely gonna beat the Jaguars and Jets. Because if they lose to the Jaguars and Jets, then just retire from existence. So and then the Broncos will be close, the Dolphins could be close, and the Raiders could be close.
Yeah, I feel that. I gotta say the Saints. The Saints, though. I don't know, man. I mean, they gotta be better.
I mean, I think yeah, they got to be better, but they're gonna be better when Michael Thomas comes back. He just had poor conduct 2 days ago with an altercation with a teammate. I think once he comes back, should be
I was
healthy
talking back
after
to
after
coaches.
next week's bye week. I mean, they should get things back and going in New Orleans.
I hope so.
For their sake, but also, we'll see. Because right now they're tied for the lead in the NFC
They have no
South
time.
with the Buccaneers.
No time for shenanigans.
And with
Next
Carolina.
4 games. Next 4 games: Panthers, who are somehow tied for the division lead. Then the Bears, who have looked pretty good. Then the Buccaneers, who are also in the race for the division. And then the 49ers, who aren't that good, but they're still, I don't know, respectable, I guess.
An interesting slate, I would say.
Yeah.
Then, alright, so
Talk about some college football or no?
yeah, right before we get to that, I want to say the Dodgers lost yesterday, and that was kind of funny. Go Braves!
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, the Braves had an upset going there.
And also
I mean-
the Rays are up 2-0 on the Astros, and I hope. Oh man!
I hope Tampa Bay wins.
Sweep.
They're an
I
underdog.
want the Astros to lose,
Everybody
right?
wants Houston
Yeah.
to not make the World Series because they will
Sweep.
and are always going to be cheaters.
Just give me a sweep. Okay.
The Rays, because if they make the World Series, then I gotta know who's on their team. Anybody notable? Oh, they have Tatis, right?
No,
Or is that someone else?
Padres.
No, that's somebody else. Rays are a young group of guys.
Who do the Rays
I guess
have?
you could say they're most known for their starting pitcher.
Damn, that's crazy. I don't recognize any of these names.
It'd be like that, It's okay, man.
I don't recognize any. I don't recognize any of these names.
It's okay.
Yeah, they're
None of these people.
just known by Blake Snell, and some can say by Tyler Glasnow.
I see. Anyway, let's move on to college football. So, let's talk about the big games. First
Oh,
up,
they updated the
North
power
Carolina,
ranking. So
ranked number 8 going into the week, beat number 19 Virginia Tech, 56-45. Like we've said, North Carolina, number 2 in the ACC.
In North Carolina, has something brewing there. Like they should be. People don't make. They'd be able to hold on to the top 10 seed of the year.
At this point, it's the race to see who's going to get blown out by Clemson.
Hey.
In my opinion.
Nope.
Hey man, Trevor Lawrence is
North
gonna be
Carolina will
gone
give
after this
Clemson
week.
a run for their money. I can guarantee that. If they make it, but I think they will. Virginia
In
Tech.
popular opinion, North Carolina has the best jerseys of college football.
They got dope jerseys. Virginia Tech should have started Hooker immediately. I don't know why they didn't start him. But Hendon Hooker, their quarterback, but they're just
All right, the next most interesting noon game, Red River Showdown between Texas and Oklahoma. What do you guys think of that game?
Sam Howell with another strong game.
Ellinger hype is it's there, but it's also not. Because sure he
A couple
plays great.
games didn't really live up to the hype.
Because sure he
Yeah.
plays
Like the,
great, but they also keep losing.
The Tennessee Georgia game.
And then
I mean-
my hope is going down in Spencer Rattler.
Actually, no,
I
wait.
don't
Tennessee
think he's the
Georgia
right
was
quarterback for Oklahoma.
decent, but
I mean,
Also, most of their starters are redshirt freshmen.
both of these
You look
teams
at their
are 2-2,
receiver,
which
Mims,
is hilarious.
quarterback Spencer Rattler, the running back, all
The
redshirt
fact that
freshmen.
both of them are 2-2 is hilarious. So
What a funky game that was.
I'm glad now only Oklahoma State could make the playoff from the Big 12.
I'm only glad because you're an Oklahoma State fan.
Only they were my pick for the playoff, so I need them to make it there. Florida ranked number 4 going into the week, lost at Texas A&M 41-38. Florida, either one of these teams could still win out, make the playoff, and it would be very interesting. But I mean, I still believe in Florida. I still believe in Florida, but somebody has to fix that defense. All the SEC teams need to fix their defenses.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, next week it's gonna be like a ridiculously high scoring game when they play LSU, who also lost to Missouri.
LSU is they're basically 2019-2020 Warriors. After your long trip with Joe Burrow, you're just going downhill from now.
I mean, I guess. Whatever.
Right, the night games, we got Miami and Clemson, which was
I just wanted a close game.
And we didn't get a close game.
Sad time.
It's just Miami will never be able to challenge Clemson. That's just the rules.
Rules.
In your opinion, do you think that there's any team so far this season that's going to be able to stop Clemson? I mean, Big Ten football returns.
The two SEC teams that are playing each other next week. Georgia and Bama play each other next week. Undefeated, both of them 3-0. Georgia beat Tennessee this week by 23, and then Alabama beat Ole Miss in a pretty high scoring game. Ole Miss almost pulled the upset, but they just couldn't.
Yeah.
So, I would say
Najee Harris with 5 touchdowns.
Iowa State beat Texas Tech. Iowa State is 3-1. If they just didn't lose to Louisiana, they could still possibly be in the conversation for the playoff. Did you guys see what happened in the Auburn game?
No, don't remember.
So Bo Nix is spiking the ball, right? They're at the 30.
Oh wait, yeah.
And then he spikes. First of all, it
was intentional grounding, right?
When you botch the snap, that's and then you spike it, it's intentional grounding. But when he spiked it, he threw it backwards. So technically, it should have been a fumble, and it should have been an Arkansas ball, but it didn't happen. They got the field goal, and they ended up winning. So Arkansas was pissed, and that's fair. Auburn is not. looking good at
You mess up
all.
a spike, dude. How do you mess up a spike?
They are stupid.
Did you guys hear what happened today? The Florida Gators had to stop football activities after an outbreak.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
This is the same guy who wanted to pack his stadium because that was what was gonna make a difference.
Yeah, can't wait until the next Dolphins game.
No, he gave him permission to. I don't think they actually are. At least I hope not.
Uh, and then Notre
Hey,
Dame
what do you guys think about the FSU Notre Dame game?
beat FSU 42-26. Well, at least Florida State looked like a competent team.
Notre Dame is currently ranked at number 4. You guys think that's overranked?
Yeah, they played.
Obviously, I mean, saw it a couple years ago when they got freaking thrashed in the college football playoff.
Yeah, they play
got a
Clemson
chance.
November 7th.
They can keep it close with Clemson, then maybe you deserve a top 10 spot.
I think that game will be pretty good. I do think so. I know a lot of
And if you
people.
look at their opponents, they play Duke, USF, and
They haven't played any
their
good
game
teams
against Wake
yet.
Forest got postponed.
They
They played
haven't
FSU.
played any good teams yet, but I'm sure they'll be fine. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for today. We will be back with you.
Hey,
Talking
but
about.
before we end, we're gonna make our game day predictions today for Tennessee and Buffalo. You guys got winning, and by how much?
Buffalo
Uh,
by a score of 13-6, as both offenses suck and Stephon Diggs has 0 catches. I think that
You
would
just
be
wish
good. I think that's probably what's gonna happen.
Oh, that what do you think?
Tennessee winning 20-16 with Derrick Henry going for enough points to win me the league in which I have him, but enough to also win me the league in which I'm going against him. Yep,
They got
he's gonna have the
Buffalo.
perfect amount.
They got Buffalo winning 24-21.
All right, we'll see.
The Lone Wolf taking the Titans. In fact, I didn't really account the fact that the Titans haven't been able to practice for like the past 2 weeks, but
Too late.
They can figure that out themselves.
We'll see you guys next time. Shalom.
Goodbye.